Commission to order on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. Is there anything to come?
Can I call you back a little bit? I'm on a Zoom meeting.
Is there anything to come before the Conservation Commission that's not on the agenda this evening? Hearing none, the first item on the agenda is a continuance of the notice of intent for the aquatic invasive treatment at Hart Pond. Katie, where are we?
Well, we were just waiting for a DEP file number and comments, but then I found out that abutters were not properly notified for the first go round, and half the abutter list was missing. So now we have to re-notify for the June 1st meeting and hear it all over again on June 1st.
You understand that, Mr. Rivard?
That's what my understanding was, but I called Keith today and he said something about, I'd rather have him speak for himself, but he said he would be here tonight.
He's
not
here.
Yep.
He's here.
Oh, he is. Oh, so Keith can speak for himself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't understand what happened. So maybe somebody could fill me in.
Yeah. So Pam actually told me she never got an abutters notice. Is that correct, Pam?
Well, I told Keith today, I think I did get a notice, but that's something I printed, just the agenda. But as far as an actual notice, today in my mailbox was a notice that there was a certified letter that they couldn't deliver today because I wasn't available for for a signature, which wasn't correct. I was home all day. But
yeah, that's the new one. Samantha Corbin, I think is her name, from
Yes.
Solitude. She confirmed that the abutters list was missing half of the residents. So what you got today, because I got them too, for having Town of Chelmsford property around it, was the ones for the June 1st meeting.
okay, so I haven't seen it. I was just told that it was.
Yeah, she confirmed that there was a mix-up. It was a certified list, but half of it was missing when it got printed. So, like you said, a lot of your neighbors hadn't received one. Yeah.
Right.
So we're kind of stuck where we can't really carry on without reopening the hearing.
Okay, so we can just continue to June 1st. Is that correct?
We're gonna have to. We don't really have a choice.
Any questions from the commission? Can I have a motion to continue the hearing for the aquatic invasive control treatment at Hart Pond until Tuesday, June 1st?
So moved, Dave.
Moved by Chris Garahan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Chris Tamula. All in favor? Mark Gibbs?
Aye.
Chris Garahan?
Aye.
Chris Tamula?
Aye.
Bill Vines?
Aye.
Carl Bischoff?
Aye.
John Swenson?
Aye.
Dave McLaughlin? Aye. So it is continued until the 1st of June. Very good.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Yes, I'm very disappointed.
It's called paperwork and bureaucracy is what it's called. Okay, next item on the agenda is a new notice of intent for 45 Richardson Road for the construction of a two-story addition. Chris, do you have the notice?
Good do, Dave. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws, chapter 30A, section 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. The Town of Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a remote public hearing on Tuesday, May 18, 2021 at 7 p.m. to consider the following application. Under the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a virtual public meeting for a notice of intent filed by Maria Payne. The applicant wishes to construct a two-story addition at 45 Richardson Road. Work will take place within 100 feet of a wetland. Dave?
Thank you. All of you should have both Katie's report and a map of the site. Is the applicant here?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Hushmand Afshar from Taj Engineering, representing the applicant.
Okay, go ahead. Perhaps, I apologize. I want to make sure the secretary, the minute taker, gets your name spelled correctly. There, I hope, well, I don't know. Can Vivian see is she on here? We don't know. Vivian.
She's
The
not
gentle-
here.
The gentleman's name is Ashar, Mr. Ashar of TAJ Engineering, I believe, correct?
Yes, it's A like Apple, F like Fred, S like Sam, H-A-R.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
okay. That's okay. It's an old Scottish name.
No, what is it? What is your ethnicity? If you don't
I'm
mind.
Persian, sir.
Good for you. Okay, go
Persian,
ahead.
yes.
Tell
And
us,
actually,
tell us what you and your client want to do.
sure. The existing lot, which is identified on the GIS map as lot okay. Anyway, it's located at 45 Richardson Road in North Chelmsford. The existing house is a two-story house, a single family, and there is a couple of old sheds and a garage, a two-car garage on this house lot. Now, according to section 195-13 of the Chelmsford zoning bylaws, since this house was built before the zoning date, and we have confirmed and consulted this with the planning office, with the zoning office, and the owner, the applicant, can add an addition to this house as long as it doesn't deform the current single family characteristics of the house, and as long as it looks the same as a single family home. Now, as it was mentioned earlier, the entire site is located within the buffer zone and within the 100-year floodplain, according to FEMA flood map, and also according to record wetland boundaries. The addition, as a result, will be constructed on piers above, probably about 3 feet above the ground, and it will more or less, it will match the height of the existing building, and then it will be connected. Basically, it will square off the existing building, which has got a, you can say, extension, northerly long extension. So the front right corner of the house, if you may, of the existing house is vacant. Nothing is built. So that front corner will be filled in with this 19 by almost 30 feet addition, which will make the house, which is square of this existing dwelling. And then, of course, for convenience, this addition will be connected on a 3 to 4 feet wide pathway at grade, which is open on all sides, but it may have a canopy roof just for protection, rain and storm, snow, as far as possible, to the existing garage, two-car garage. And the applicant and the owner, of course, since is putting forward this application, this request, they have requested also, they have applied for the repair and upgrade of the existing two-car garage, which will be all, of course, cosmetic. And any repairs, any area that is deteriorated that needs repairs will be repaired accordingly. We are proposing a sealed and erosion control barrier, a seal fence, almost all around, almost entire site, all around the area of the proposed activities to protect any possible erosion to the resource areas and protect the resource areas in the back. The sequence of construction is on the plan. Every effort will be made not to cause any impact, adverse impact on the resource areas. There will be a dumpster, of course, at the site in the front, on the corner of the driveway. There will not be any stockpile, any material or any equipment or vehicle garage and parked and stored at the site. With that, I would like to end, and if any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
You're going to take down a couple of buildings on the site, or just one? Taking
Oh,
down the shed, and you're taking down part of the an extension to the garage?
Yes, there's a small shed attached to the two-car garage, which is on the plan. That will be cleaned out. That will be removed. And also there's a small shed in the back, very much almost close to the back lot line. That will be removed too. So those two sheds will be removed and the ground will be restored to lawn and grass and landscaping.
And this lot, I take it from this, is about 24,000 square feet, about half an acre. Is that correct?
The 23, yes, sir, it is.
When do you know when the building was built?
I think the building, if I remember correctly, it's pre World War II, I believe. But,
Okay. All the work activity is in the front. And what's the relative distance of that addition to the edge of wetlands?
The existing house is.
No, I mean, what's the relative distance of the addition to the edge of wetlands?
Okay. Well, I was going to say that the
Go
existing
ahead.
house.
All right, go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, the existing house is almost a section of it, almost at the edge of the wetland. But
Right.
the relative distance of the addition, which is in front, is about between 25 to 30 feet.
Okay. All the work is going to be done from the front of the building?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you going to have to store is there any excavation going to be done where the piers are going to be placed, or is it just excavation for each individual pier?
It will be only excavation for each individual piers.
Okay, and so the material will stay, any material will stay on site, or are you going to have to take it off site?
It will be hauled away.
Okay. All right. Questions? Mark Gibbs.
Did I hear him say this was in the floodplain?
Yes.
So in DEP is okay with
That's why the addition's going to be elevated.
no, I understand that, but in DEP is okay with the sonotubes in the floodplain?
Well, there's no comments yet, but that's DEP. There could be comments 30 days from now and never know. But it meets elevation, so.
Right, but I remember the fellow at the solar fields, when he was putting pipes in the ground, they made him
Yeah,
Right.
I do remember that.
create an area to
Yeah,
make up for the sonotubes, and he's putting in 12.
yeah, but remember he's removing a shed and an addition to the garage. So that could potentially make up for the area.
Just for the applicant's benefit, the comment that Mr. Gibbs is talking about is we saw an application, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago for solar panels, and the pedestals for each of the solar panels was in the floodplain. And DEP determined that each of those, the footprint of each of those pedestals had to be replicated somewhere else. So there was no net loss of floodplain. Katie's comment may be very well appropriate. You're creating floodplain by removing the shed and the garage extension. So we'll have to understand what DEP, or you'll have to understand what DEP says to you.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yeah.
So if I understand, if you're talking about solar panels, are we talking about
I'm sorry. I was just talking about the pedestal on which the panel was set, the pier on which the pedestal was sitting.
So this is a solar farm.
Yeah, I understand. But remember,
Yeah.
the pier that holds the solar panel destroys floodplain, maybe only 1 square foot. Okay.
There are hundreds of them, and in this case,
I understand, but they
Mistakes.
wanted all I'm telling you is DEP wanted whatever the total was,
Yeah.
whether it was 50 or 100, they wanted it replicated with additional floodplain. Now you may get that same, all I'm saying is you may get that same question from DEP.
Okay, sir.
My question wasn't to cause a problem. I didn't know
Right.
what DEP's reaction was to this.
They haven't commented yet.
Right, I heard you say that. And the same thing
Yeah.
with the garage. I think I'm familiar with the property. The tearing the garage does not really change anything because there's not a slab there anyway. So I think it's on grade. So we're not really creating more flood. You understand what I mean?
You're taking away the structure, which is blocking the ground for floodwaters to go.
Volume. It's volume.
Volume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark,
Okay, that was my question.
anything else, Mark?
And no, I don't have anything else to say because I don't know what DEP, the walkway again, the pavers, they're impervious or they pervious? What are they classified as?
They are
Don't
pavers. They are pervious pavers.
So that may destroy some floodplain as well. You'll have to be aware of it. That's all.
I don't want to create the problem. I just want to know what the answer is. That's all.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no, most likely it's going to be pavers, gravels, pervious pavers, something like that. But it will be at grade, so it doesn't occupy or take away any
Oh, if
flood
you could-
volume.
If you can use pervious pavers, you should, because
Sure.
that will not destroy floodplain.
I'm all set, Dave. Thank you.
Chris Garahan?
Hey, Dave, just a couple comments, and I'm really familiar with the site. I've certainly seen a lot of flooding right out in that site over the last 20 years. So it's certainly a sensitive area as far as flooding goes. So I think it's important that we, certainly make sure the plans guarantee there's no loss of flood capacity. And then number two, it's also a really very sensitive site. And I see Mr. Harper on the meeting tonight. Certainly, this is the aquifer for our water wells is very, very much in close proximity. So I certainly want to hear if there's any concerns from the North Chelmsford Water District. But it's a sensitive area, but I think we just have to be careful with our conditions around the site, and certainly site improvements. It could be a good thing for sure. So just a few preliminary comments, Dave, at this point.
Chris Tamola?
No, Dave, you actually answered my questions.
Billy Vines?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I think that's within the 400 feet zone of the well. There's a well right behind there. And I can remember back when the dam let go, that whole area was underwater 2 or 3 feet. So that shed on the far right was, you might even be able to still see it on the doors of the garage where the water came up. So that's a very sensitive site. So I just want to be aware of the water wells more than anything. If there's anything that will affect that from that site. And also, is anything to do with the DPW issues across the street? Is there anything affected by that on that site? Does anybody know if there's any monitoring wells or any type, maybe you know, Bruce, but
Well,
I know it's right across the street from the issue with the PFAS and that.
Bill, isn't the dog park across the street? Not
Yeah,
rather
dog
than-
park and the DPW and
Well, DPW would be over behind the dog park or to
Yeah.
the right of the dog.
diagonal to it.
Yeah.
But I remember when it was under a few feet of water, the whole thing, so I'm aware of it. So that's it, Dave.
Carl Bischoff?
No, I think I've heard all the answers to my questions already.
John Swenson?
The same thing. Chris asked the right question about the wells. That was going to be my biggest concern.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the audience on this application?
You're muted. You're muted.
Who is?
Bruce,
Arbor.
There you go.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, can I allow to speak?
Sure, Bruce, go ahead.
Yeah, Bruce Harper, Superintendent of the North Chelmsford Water District. I have a lot of concerns. One, the existing property has been used as a business, in my opinion. They have a huge patio that they put on the property, which already took away some compensatory storage. They're putting a big concrete wall in front of the building. They've already started doing some excavations. They have an on-site dumpster, and they keep bringing fill in and out. They use it as a construction site. They have been using it like that for years. That's a couple points. And a big point is they shouldn't be doing any excavation on that property until they get this PFAS situation across the street resolved. The dog park actually has one of the highest elevated PFAS wells right in front of the building. And they're trying to get access through 45 Richardson Road to put a couple monitoring wells behind that property. The engineer from Taji probably already aware of that. They want to put a shallow and a deep well behind that property to investigate the PFAS, the migration of it. And there should be no excavation on that property until this is all resolved on the PFAS. Because every time you start doing the excavation, you're starting to move this PFAS plume around, and the PFAS plume is pretty significant.
Bruce, can I?
Yes.
Does everyone on the Conservation Commission know what Mr. Harper's talking about? And the current, I think the Board of Selectmen are taking a look at the site. There may be some people on the commission that are unaware of this project. Maybe you could just summarize what's going on, Bruce.
Sure. PFAS is a forever chemical. There's 6 PFAS right now that the DEP is monitored for. And the DEP has a limit of 20 nanograms per liter, which is parts per trillion. The DPW, they first investigated, I think it was back in October, they took a PFAS sample right in front of the former mechanics bay. And the PFAS levels are up around 125. They're already 6-7 times over what the DEP level is. So they did a confirmatory sample. Confirmatory sample was up in the 500s. So since then, they had to do what they call an MCP plan with the DEP, and they had to do it's an IRA plan. And they put in, so far, they put in 15 wells all around the property. They put a couple behind our well number 3. They want to put a couple behind well number 2, which is behind 45 Richardson Road. So far, out of 15 wells, 11 of them are over the 20 nanograms per liter. Some of them are actually up around 500, 800 parts per trillion.
Whoa.
And we're picking up on our raw water right now, probably around 18 parts, which is migrating over from the DPW and the dog park.
Bruce, have any of these wells been placed on this 45 Richardson Road?
Not as of yet. I think they just obtained. Paul McKinley was trying to seek
All right,
permission.
Let me just, I don't know if you can answer this. If a well was placed on 45 Richardson Road, and if an elevated level of PFAS was determined to exist on this site, what would be the remediation on the site? Do you, or you may not know? If you don't know,
the town's going to have to do something with remediation. They're going to have to do some pump and treatment down the road. They right now they're trying to identify the actual plume, whereabouts the plume is, and they got a pretty good idea. The plume
could the town remediate the situation without addressing 45 Richardson Road?
No, Because right now the
Yep.
plume is close to that proximity of that property. That's why they want to put 2 wells behind 45 Richardson Road, closest to our well number 4, which I believe this property was within 400 feet of this well.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, the point of compensatory storage, I think is a given, since they've already taken away some of the impervious surfaces over there by putting patios in, walls in. They've been developing that property as we speak, and to me, they've been in violations of the wetlands for years.
Is that the work that Mr. Harper is referring to on the site? Katie, has that work been done without conservation approval?
It's actually, since this application came in, it's the first I've really heard of it.
Well, then that work's got to stop.
Yeah, that has to cease, and we probably shouldn't issue anything until.
Well, okay, the second question, Katie, do you know if Christina's looked at this application?
She hasn't. It's not required for stormwater, but she probably should.
Well, it's sensitive. It's a sensitive enough area. I would think. Is that all right with the commission? Do we ask the town engineer to take a look at it?
Sure.
Okay. Katie, do you know who's managing the PFAS project for the town right now? Is it DPW?
I don't. Bruce, do you know?
Yeah, it's Weston. The town is hired Weston and Sampson.
I understand, but who in the town is managing Weston and Sampson? Is it
Steve Yonley?
Steve
is their contact.
Christine. Katie, I think you ought to get a hold of Steve and understand what the situation is out there and what their timetable is and what the possible remediations are, because it's conceivable if there's PFAS all around this site that there may be PFAS on the site, and remediation on the site is going to have to happen, right? So what I'd like to do is to continue this hearing until June 1st. But in the meantime, ask Christina Papadopoulos to do her engineering review of the site and ask Steve Yonley to take a look at what this applicant wants to do in the context of what they're doing with PFAS. Should the applicant still submit? No, they don't. They should not submit to DEP until we act, correct? Right.
Submit what?
Well, they need DEP to review it, but DEP is not going to review it until we act on it, right?
Review what? This filing?
Yeah.
No, DEP's got it under review right now.
Oh, they do? Okay, so we can wait.
We need to issue, it sounds like we need to issue a cease and desist if everything that was mentioned is actually happening.
Yeah, I think we need to issue a cease and desist and have the applicant include all of the activity that either has occurred or is going to occur in this one application. So we can review it all.
I think we should do an amended notice of intent that needs to be submitted for an upcoming meeting.
Okay. So,
and I think the commission should request the presence of the applicant at the meeting. It seems like they just kind of stuck this on Hushi here, and I think the applicant should be here.
That's not unusual.
As I understand, they told me they are out of town.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right.
They should be present at the next meeting.
Okay, let's see if we can do this.
Dave,
Yeah, Bill.
I went by there today. They're doing a lot of work down there. There was a lot of people there today. Quite a few people there working on stone wall and stuff.
Then the first thing we should do, Bill, and the rest of it, I'll entertain a motion to issue a cease and desist of all activity on the site at 45 Richardson Road, pending an amended application for the work to be done.
Dave, let's keep it simple. Just a cease and desist of all activity, period.
Okay.
Because I just want it to stop, and then we can assess from there.
We'll do that, and then we'll inform. Well, let's do that first. And
I'll make a motion to that effect, Dave.
So Chris moves that the commission issue a cease and desist order for activity at 45 Richardson Road. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mark Gibbs. Any discussion? All in favor? Mark?
Aye.
Chris? Garion?
Aye.
Chris Tamula?
Aye.
Bill Vines?
Aye.
Carl Bischoff?
Aye.
John Swenson?
Aye.
Dave McLaughlin? Aye. I think the next thing is that we should direct the applicant to submit an amended notice of intent incorporating all of the activity on the site.
Yes.
Is that okay with you, Katie?
That sounds appropriate. Mhm.
All right, I will entertain that motion.
So move, Dave.
So moved by Chris Garahan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Chris Tamula. Any discussion? All in favor? Mark Gibbs,
Aye.
Chris Garahan,
Aye.
Chris Tamula,
Aye.
Bill Vines,
Aye.
Carl Bischoff,
Aye.
John Swenson,
Aye.
Dave McLaughlin, aye. Should we, I guess we have to continue the hearing. I don't know whether, well, let's continue it to June 1st. That may not be enough time for them, but we can do that.
No, yeah, they won't be able to get legal ads in and things.
What's the meeting after that?
June 15th is when we can officially meet all in person without any restrictions. Because all the restrictions will be lifted on June 15th.
Yeah, I understand, but I'll entertain a motion to continue the hearing for 45 Richardson Road until June 15th.
So move, Dave.
Moved by Chris. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Mark Gibbs?
Aye.
Chris Garahan?
Aye.
Chris Tamula?
Aye.
Bill Vines?
Aye.
Carl Bischoff?
Aye.
John Swenson?
Aye.
Dave McLaughlin? Aye. And also to inform the applicant that he and or she should show up at the next hearing on this. So we've got three things happening. We've got a cease and desist. We've got a request of Papadopoulos to review well, there's no sense in her reviewing it until there's a revised submission, is there? No.
Yeah.
So cease and desist, submit an amended NOI. Then we'll talk about Papadopoulos. And also, in the meantime, if you could just familiarize Steve Yanley with what's going on here. He's probably aware of it, but why don't you just make that connection? Okay? Is anybody, we all there?
Yep.
Okay.
Here, Dave.
All right, let's.
Nice summary, Dave.
Is there anything else anyone wants to add on this, on 45 Richardson Road?
I just have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So this amendment notice
Yeah.
in NOI, that is not for June 15, is it?
Well, we'll give you that date. If you need more time, you can have it.
Oh, okay. So you like to see the amended notice of intent for meeting of June 15, correct?
Right, and if you can't make that date, you notify the conservation agent and we'll
Yeah.
consider another continuance.
Okay, so I have a quick question for Katie. Will I get any email or anything from you so I can use as my supporting argument with the owner?
Yeah, I can email you a summary of everything and what we're asking for.
Sure.
I'm also gonna send the owner the cease and desist letter directly.
Okay, if you could CC me, please, on that.
Yes,
Okay.
and then
you.
I can, I can send you something. You can also call me if you want. We can basically go over what we need to see in the amendment, and
Okay,
we'll go
good
from there.
enough. Fair enough. I just want to
Okay.
have something from from
Yeah.
conservation as backup to when I meet with them.
That's
Right.
reasonable. That's reasonable.
Okay, sir. Mr. Chairman, and thank you, commissioners, thank you, Katie,
Very
thank
good.
you.
Thank
for
you.
all your help.
Good
Have a
night.
Good night.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thanks.
Okay, next item is a general discussion. What's the tree removal at the fire tower? Whose fire tower?
That is the town's fire tower on Robin Hill Road.
That's a state fire tower.
Is it state? It's state, that's right. It's state, but it's on our property,
It
on
fell on,
conservation property.
okay.
So they, they're,
Has it fallen onto the state land, or is it on state land falling on our property?
no, there's about 34 trees surrounding the tower that are blocking the microwaves to the tower. So they cannot get signals out to the
Oh.
fire officials. So I've okayed 2 trees immediately because they were the biggest issues blocking the microwaves for communication, but there's 32 trees left. There's no wetlands. It's high and
No,
dry up
Right,
on the fire tower.
it's up on the hill, right? Could they
But it's
maybe
our
give it,
land, so.
have they given you a sketch map of where the trees are that need to come down? They probably
Yes.
should.
And I tried to get it uploaded today, but I can't open it out of my email for some reason. But it is, I can send it to everybody
Okay,
individually. They basically took the map with the fire tower and put a bunch of X's. They're all located around the actual fire tower.
you
and the
guys,
access
you
road.
guys all know where this is. Years ago, we swapped some land with the water department too. That's why we have some land up there. And it also abuts, what's the name? What's the name? It's not a reservation, but it's, Carl, what's the name of the hill where all the kids go snowing?
Robin Hill.
Huh? I'm
Robin
sorry.
Hill. Robin Hill.
Yeah,
Robin Hill.
Robin Hill. So it's up at the very top. We own land all around the base, and we own some piece up there because we had to swap it for the water department. I think that's a reasonable request.
Do you know, Katie, do you know if they flagged the trees?
They did, yes. Yep.
So if we were to go up there, we could see them.
I believe so. Yep. I can send you the map too.
Yeah, I might do that. I might take a ride up.
You get there from going up, what's the street that goes up to it?
Summit.
Summit, yeah. And you can park, you can park on the street up there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the forester from DCR doing the work from the state.
Okay.
He said
So-
he's just going to drop the trees
Oh, yeah.
and leave them, and because it'd be a huge mess to get them out of there. So
No, I mean, it's unless it's deterring public use, it creates habitat.
right,
Yep.
right.
Katie, is that just for the state, or is that cell towers also up there?
I think it involves the town too, because Gary's been involved. Not for Sketty, Gary Ryan, Chief Ryan. So I'm not quite sure, but I've been dealing with local fire authorities and state. So
Well, the state runs the tower, and I suspect there's a mutual assistance group that uses all the data that's coming out of there.
Sure.
Any other comments or questions? All right, what's the next one, Katie? Wetland concerns around town. You mean, do we have any?
well, it's more like neighbors hating neighbors around town.
Oh, you don't mean up at Groton Road, do you?
Everywhere. Ever since COVID, there has been an uptick in neighbor-abutter disputes because everybody's home watching each other.
Tell them to go get their vaccine, and it'll go away.
I think that's making it worse, Dave, but I'm not quite sure yet.
Katie, I'm sure everybody read your report on
My dissertation?
Groton Road, but I don't know if everyone saw your follow-up that you sent to me. Did you copy everybody?
Yeah, I think everybody was on it. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any more status on that situation?
No, there's nothing. Last I heard, they were going to call mosquito control and see if they could get some of their leaf litter cleaned up from their side of the wetland, see if they could add some storage for water.
They who? Davenport or they?
Yeah.
The other?
Yep, Davenport. Yep.
Are they still harassing the elderly couple?
I don't know. I think they were gonna get a restraining order, but
How aware of this situation is the Chelmsford Police Department?
very aware. They've been called
Okay.
several times for
Good.
verbal harassment, so,
That's too bad.
yeah. So that's just one abutter thing. There's others around town, just nitpicking things that turn out to be really nothing. My neighbor cut a tree, my neighbor did this, did that.
Tell these people to get a life.
Well, hopefully when everybody can get out of their house again.
Well, let's talk about that. That's not, but when can we get back together for our meetings?
We can do it June 1st as a hybrid, where we're in person, but the public will still have to be virtual. I believe applicants might be able to come in the room with us, and it's the Board of Selectmen room. And then I believe June 15th, Paul just sent an email today, we might be able to meet just as we did before, because that's when the state of emergency is over. So we might go back to normal.
So on June 1st, we could do what, excuse me, what the Board of Selectmen
Yes.
presently do.
Yes.
I don't know what you guys think. I think we should do it.
I mean, we only have one hearing.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, but we have other things to do later.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Katie, how is that done from the selectmen's room? Do
They're
they-
set up for telemedia, so I think the public can still zoom in and they'll
And
see
where-
all of us sitting
And
there.
where do we see the public? On the monitors around the room or on our own laptops?
I'm assuming it might be up on the TVs on the
Well, can you
room.
confirm that? Because if it's on our laptops, everyone's gonna, not
No.
everyone has a
It
laptop.
won't be like that. I believe it's through the TVs. They set up cameras in the room, so.
Good. Do you guys want to do that on June 1st?
More than you know.
I bet you John doesn't.
Well, John,
John loves the computer.
John,
Yeah,
John, you can bring your wife with you if she'd like.
yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I mean, she can participate too.
We know who's buying drinks later.
All right, let's keep going. Willis Drive property as a laminated set of bylaws, regulations rather, pertaining to that piece of land that we approved as a commission a couple of years ago, has been attached to the major tree on that property. The site has been cleaned up a little bit. Somebody up there is rebuilding the raft that was, remember there was a raft out in Freeman Lake that was falling apart. They pulled it on shore and they're rebuilding it. And it looks as if there aren't quite as many boats there. Still got to work with the town because the town doesn't want to pick up the boats for us. They want us to pay for it, which would probably not be cheap. But maybe putting a sign up might help. So we will try that. We've tried that and see what happens. Next item. Is there any further update on Warren-Pohl, Carl?
The only thing I've got, Dave, is that we're still, as far as I know, on schedule for the natural resources inventory on this Friday with the Land Stewardship Incorporated. But I haven't heard anything, and it's Tuesday, so I assume it's still on. I haven't heard it being rescheduled, but I know that the woman's name is Jessica, who will be doing it, and she was happy to meet with us at the beginning, or I'm going to be there at the beginning and do a quick walkthrough with Becky Warren from the Land Trust. And then she wants to peel off and do her work by herself, from what I understand. So,
well, that's
the only
probably
other thing I had, Dave, two things. One is I don't know what ever happened with the fire hydrant. Has that happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, I got to get over there. I haven't been over there in a couple of weeks. So
once it's operational, we ought to notify Donahue at the fire department.
Right. So I'll get over there and look at it. I'm sure I can tell if they've changed it. And the other thing is, I know that you sent, I think it was before last meeting, but I'm not sure that you sent the CR, the conservation restriction, to the Land Conservation Trust to Dale.
Right. They've had it for a week and a half, and I have not. They've acknowledged receipt of it, but I haven't had any comments.
Right. So that's pretty.
So our next big item is to get the $30,000 at town meeting, which is June 17th. I'd urge all of you guys that know any town meeting reps to urge them to vote in favor of it. And once we get that approved, the budget has to be okayed by the state, and we can probably start spending money around the 1st of July. And then the next decision we as a commission have to make is where are we going to put the granite sign? Remember, we don't need to discuss it tonight. There's two options. One is to put it in the new parking lot, which means the people who are using the parking lot are the ones who see the sign. Nobody on Boston Road would see it. The other option is to put it over on the Acton Road side where the general public could see the reservation. However, there's no access to the reservation at that point. They would have to go learn how they get to the parking lot. So we still need to make that decision. And Billy Vines had checked it. It's going to take like 5 weeks for the granite sign to be made, and we'll have to get DPW to put it up.
Yep. The only other thing I want to add is, John Swanson, if we can get that gate, that sounds good. I think we have a good use of that gate if it's still available.
It's still available.
Great. All right.
Hey, Carl, is
At
that
the post
open to
too.
the public? Is that place open to the public, or is the gate closed?
The gate should be closed. Every time I go by there, I make sure it's closed. It's not always, but it's supposed to be.
So people,
Oh yeah. The other thing. So Bill, was there anything else?
people aren't allowed to go in there at this point?
Not officially.
No.
Right, unofficially, Bill. I mean, we can't prevent people from wandering through the site, but we're not going to encourage people by letting them know that the reservation is open, because it's not.
Okay.
Dave, I wanted to mention also, I just remembered, I did make contact with people at the Brown house that has the 6 units in the condominium. So I have sent them an email with kind of what our plans are, and I talked to their treasurer, and I said I'm open to any input or comments. Would be happy to kind of walk the entrance with them and whatever, but I haven't heard anything since.
The side door to one of those units steps right out onto the driveway. So we probably need to put some kind of a fence so that people don't wander out in the driveway.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Anything else on any of the reservations?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay, just to let the commission know, there's a group from Zoo New England that are going to go out to an area of conservation land off of River Neck Road to do some work to improve a small area, like 8 by 20, to improve the habitat for wood turtles. So we'll get some publicity out of that. What's the status of the art exhibit at the Cranberry Bog? It's now the end of the month. She should have everything down. Does anyone know?
She had a month from Earth Day, so
Which was when?
the 26th of April, right? So she has like 7, 8 more days.
Does anyone know? Is it still a mess out there?
It's not a mess, but some residents feel like it's just trash blowing in the trees.
Well, of course, they're the same ones that are upset.
And they don't think it's art. They don't agree with it. So.
Oh, don't worry about that. I mean, artists.
Yeah, I'm just getting angry, screaming old.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Yeah, the big bucks. Yeah. That's why I'm sitting in the basement. Yeah. instead of an office. Yeah.
All right. Anything, Katie, do you have anything for us that you need to transmit?
No. And I did submit the Warren-Pohl thing to the website person who I believe does the website updates, but I have not heard anything.
No, and you won't, and you won't,
Hasn't come out yet, I know.
and you
Right.
won't. The thing's an embarrassment to the town,
Okay.
and I don't mind saying that on Zoom. All right, we've got 3 sets of minutes that you have all received. They were attached in Katie's email out to you guys. The 16th of March, the 6th of April, and the 20th of April. I gave one change to Vivian Merrill and gave her the trademark name for sonotubes. Other than that, I thought they were fine. So take a few minutes if you haven't, and I'll come back on. Well, that'll be good to get back to have a meeting where we're all together.
You good, Dave?
Make sure Gibbs showers, okay?
Oh,
Wow.
geez.
Love you, brother.
Mark, did you hear that?
Jeez.
What did I miss? Remember, we're on public TV.
That was
right.
nice.
Boy, that jungle in your office is getting it's getting bigger.
I can water my plants. That's the one thing I can do.
Just don't wet your pants. You can wet your plants, not your pants.
Jeez.
Katie, you're on public TV. Hey, Carl, have you walked out at Crooked Spring recently?
Not in a few weeks.
Years ago, I used to encounter yellow lady slippers,
Okay.
and I haven't seen them in a while. Do you know if anybody's seen any out there? Because yellows are very unusual. I mean, you see pink occasionally, but
Yeah, and this is the time they would be out
yeah,
right about now.
that's what I was asking.
Well, maybe I'll go tomorrow morning.
All right. Are there any comments on the minutes of the 16th or the 6th or the 20th?
Dave, I moved that we approve the minutes.
Moved by Chris Garahan to approve the minutes of March 16th, April 6th, and April 20th of 2021. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mark. Any discussion? All in favor? Mark Gibbs,
Hey.
Chris Garahan,
Yes.
Chris Tamula,
Aye.
Bill Vines,
All right.
Carl Bischoff.
Though I have to abstain on the April 6th as I wasn't here for that.
Okay. John Swenson,
Aye.
Dave McLaughlin, aye, with the one small correction I gave Vivian. So the minutes are approved. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Don't move by Chris. All in favor? Aye.
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 See you guys in person on June 1st.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good then.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care. Good night, everybody.